Hello and welcome on back to my 100% walkthrough of Elden Ring by Level Up Pup Gaming. In the last episode we pushed through Stormhill all the way to the edges of it next to Caelid, and we took out the boss, the Tibia Mariner, inside this these ruins right here. So before we get started, I'm going to go over a couple of things that I recommend you do. I'm going to put the Poison Mist incantation on because eventually we might use it on a couple of different bosses, but I really don't plan on using incantations anytime soon. I mixed my Wondrous Physic back to Strength and the Stamina. I looked it up, and the Strength and Dexterity, there's also a knot for Intelligence and Faith. These tiers will raise your attribute by 10 levels for 3 minutes. So absolutely unbelievable. So what you can do with that is you can take your flask, then use a weapon art on a weapon that you don't have the attributes for yet. This will buff you up 10 levels, so it could reach you to a weapon's requirement, and then that weapon's weapon art will be available. You use it, maybe it gives you a buff, and then you take the weapon off and the buff will remain. So that's very useful. I'm going to sort my chest from here on out by things that I'm not going to use, and I'm going to keep the things that I will use. I recommend you do the same. Do not sell anything in this game unless you have a copy of it. I recommend keeping one of everything that you find, and that is including that means weapons and armor. If you have duplicates, you can hang on to it if you want an extra one, just in case you want to give it to somebody else. But otherwise, I recommend just selling any duplicates you have and keeping one of everything. Do not sell the weapons that you find in this game. Keep everything. The only time you should sell it is if you have more than one, like this. So I have 3 daggers. I'm going to sell one, so I got 2 that I can play around with, and then this dagger I'm not going to use anytime soon. But I will use it once I have the faith. But it scales with dexterity, so it's not going to be anytime soon. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it in there. I don't plan on using this sword again or any other straight swords anytime soon, so I'm going to go ahead and toss that in there too. I'm not going to be using this through the playthrough, and I'm not going to be dual wielding any great swords, great curved swords, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the dismounter, but I am going to keep this because I'm going to use this once I have the attributes for it. I'll be using this later in the game too. I will never use this through this playthrough, nor will I use this or this anymore. Might play around with this. I haven't really used the large club yet, so I kind of want to see what it can do. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use any great spears this playthrough, but I will showcase later on some of the stuff that they can do because they're very, very powerful, especially when you dual wield them. I don't have the strength and faith for this yet, but I'll go ahead and keep it for when I do. Actually, 30 strength. I don't think I'm going to reach 30 strength before I rebirth, so I'll go ahead and toss it because I'm going to get different halberds that I will use. I'm going to showcase just how bad the crossbows are and their speed compared to the bows, and then I'm going to toss this in the chest. So I'll sell this shield and I'll keep this one, but anything else that I don't plan on using, I'm just going to go ahead and toss into, well, I might keep the great shield for now. I can just use a regular shield. And this does holy damage negation, but I'm not going to be using that for anything, so if I need to parry, I'm just going to use the wooden shield for now. So I'm going to sell all the copies I have of these helmets and then just keep one. And that's everything that I wanted to talk. Oh no, I'm going to put Ashes of War that I don't plan on using in there. So I will be using the jellyfish. I won't be using either of these. So these 2 I'm going to keep. And feel free to play around with the ashes and summon them. Just like go down to the Gatefront Ruins and summon them and fight some guards and see what they do. And whichever ones you like, keep those with you. So let's go ahead and we're going to head over to this merchant real quick and sell the extra stuff that we do have. I also want to, a couple of times, every time I get on here, I'm going to come by and try and get one of these grave scythes from these skeletons that scale in strength, because they're a very good weapon. And we're going to get an Ash of War later on that goes very, very well with it. And it'll help us clear out some very annoying groups of enemies. Please give me your scythe. Any scythe? Nah. No luck. These guys can drop their shield and stuff too. I believe they drop their sword as well. Can't remember. No such luck. Oh well. We'll find many, many more of those skeletons with the grave scythe through the game. I'm gonna go try and farm them. I'm so sorry. I promise, once your neck meat becomes available to buy, I will never hurt you guys again. I know I'm a monster. And I recommend you guys do the same thing, even though it's sad. Just remember, just a game. I kind of wish they made the turtles attack, you know, in self-defense so that I didn't feel so bad, but it just breaks my heart watching them curl up. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and sell our Erd leaves if we have any. We'll sell our sell one dagger. Sell one shield. Sell a bunch of helmets. Save my roots. Alright, now we're gonna go fight an NPC. She shouldn't prove too difficult. If you're having trouble with her timings and her dodges, pull out the medium shield with 100% block and go ahead and try and block her, but she's a little tricky because she will continue attack patterns even after you think she's kind of done. So you might block and then do a return, and then in the middle of it she will poise through it and attack you again. And she does some pretty vicious damage. She has a sort of a great curved sword, I think it is. And she just does some jumping blows with it that deal some absolute absurd damage. And it does some serious thrashing to your endurance, so you might actually stagger a lot fighting her and blocking her. So if you block any hit from this NPC, you really want to have full stamina. You don't want to block her right after you just got done attacking, because she most likely will stagger you. So let's go ahead and come up on here. And we're going to get knocked off Torrent, as we do with any invasion. You have to head towards the church. You can actually go around the side of the church and go inside of it, and she will not spawn. But as soon as we come up through here, we're going to get stopped and get invaded. So let's go ahead and eat a pickled turtleneck and drink our flask. Don't bother with any bombs to throw at her, because she will just dodge them. You really just want to focus on dodging and then attack, and then dodge and attack, just like we been learning how to do the last few episodes. She'll spawn right here. With any hope, we can get the first attack off. Nope, she dodged it. See, and there's the little thrust that she does. So go ahead and wait till she does the thrust and then return. Oh, good. Knocked her up. Alright, good. Okay. Yeah, you wanna So don't try and hit her when she's doing that. She'll poise most likely right through you. Just wait until she's done swinging. There you go. And she should heal about halfway through. Oh, ooh. See the damage she does. It's pretty brutal. But she's got pretty short range with the way she holds the sword and the way she lands, so she's pretty easy to dodge. Just want to... Oh, I don't know why she didn't attack me there. I'm not too sure why these NPCs aren't healing. They normally do. Alright, just let her go ahead and play out this animation, and then we'll give her a nice jump attack after she's done. There we go. And that is the first meeting we have with Anastasia the Tarnished Eater. And she gives us the Sacred Scorpion Charm, which raises our holy attacks, but lowers our damage negation. So we'll take 10% more damage, but we'll do some extra holy damage when we put it on. So very useful. Go ahead and grab these cookbooks here. And this grace. So this is one of the churches that just does not have a sacred tier. Instead, we get those cookbooks. Let's go ahead and rest. Just refill our flasks. We did use one. And let's see if we can do a level up. Oh, okay. I'm gonna let the dialogue play out, and then I'll tell you what to do.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to determine if the Elden Ring would truly have you, if you had the mettle to endure this long and arduous path. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Rountable Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions, guided by grace.
We are not going to go to the Rountable Hold. It looks like the only option you have is to go. We are going to hit Q and close it. Do not go to the Rountable Hold yet. There's just a few NPCs that we want to talk to before we take off to the Rountable Hold. Some players might be worried about finding a blacksmith that can take their weapons above level 3. We will find a blacksmith before we get to the Rountable Hold that can do that. So just in the sake of not overburdening us with different NPCs, because we meet a lot of NPCs, we start a lot of quests at the Rountable Hold. So just in the sake of not overburdening you, we're going to hold off for a few episodes on going to the Rountable Hold. I recommend you do not do it. If you do, just only talk to the people that are inside the room right where you spawn in. Try not to jump over any railings, because you'll meet somebody you don't want to meet at the moment. And don't talk to the lady that wants to give you hugs. Just hold off on all that until the episode where we get to the Rountable Hold, and I'll explain to you what all the quests are. So we're going to hit Q, and we're just going to hold off. So it's going to give you this option to tell her you're off to the Rountable Hold. Just make extra sure not to press that, because it just takes one press and she'll come and take you.
Shall I turn your runes? Let my hand share them with me.
You can level up. Okay, so the next
your
one.
Thoughts.
I believe the last thing I leveled up was my
the
faith.
Principles you would follow.
So, very slowly I'm going to be leveling up mind. I'll be stopping my mind at about around 30, 35 before the end of the game. And with endurance, I'll be stopping about around 40, 45. Vigor we're going to take to 60, and then our attack attributes we're both going to take to 60, whether it's strength or faith or intelligence and dexterity. Intelligence, dexterity. Whatever I'm doing at the moment, we're going to try and get the attack attributes up to 60. And then these ones, 60, 35, 30, 45, 40. So right now, because we're going to be bringing up our mind throughout the entire game, basically, I'm going to be focusing, again, on vigor, endurance, and then after I do 2 levels to this, so 1 here, and then next one, endurance, I'm going to bring these up to pretty high. I'm going to focus on bringing my strength and dexterity up as high as I can so that I can use the Bloodhound's Fang. And then after we get this up to 20, both of these up to 20, we will be focusing on getting our vigor and our faith up as well as just a little bit of endurance here and there in mind. Just this is going to come up very slowly. So let's go ahead and keep going on with vigor. And then just take extra special care not to press that option for now. Let's go ahead and leave and go into the land of Rot. Okie dokie. So I'm going to open up the map here in a second and show you guys some stuff. Just go behind the church and check for any special foliage. I don't believe there's anything up here though. Doesn't look like there's anything here. It's always worth a check though. Oh. And so we'll be selling a ton of these faded Erdleaf flowers. We're going to be picking up a bunch of those. So down there are these guys right here are in the northern part of Caelid. And the northern part of Caelid is different from the southern part. The southern part has a drop in difficulty. Up here, things are so difficult that you want to be about around level 100 to 120 before you fight anything. Down here, you want to be about a level 60 to 70. So there's a huge gap in difficulty in Caelid. We're going to stay away from Northern Caelid. We're not going to fight anything in Caelid at all. We're just going to be running through, grabbing graces, doing a few things. Oh, I actually forgot. Before we do that, before we go into Caelid, actually, we're going to come down over here. We're going to grab a grace. There should be a giant down here that we're going to fight. Just go ahead and take him out real quick. You can see the music changes back to kind of peaceful Limgrave. And then once we get back into Caelid, it's going to sound all creepy and weird. Because Caelid is creepy and weird, to say the very least. Oh yeah, grab this herbo. Alright. You know the drill. Charge attacks. Ooh, he saw me. Oh no. Oh, whoa. What in the world? Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Really haven't. I missed it. Gotcha. So you take that and a little bit of that. That guy was more aggressive than I thought he would be. I guess I really don't think I've ever fought him. Didn't see that he could do that roll. That was pretty crazy. So yeah, be careful with that guy. I thought you could just run up to him like any normal giant, but I think he's oh, okay. So I think he's meant to roll down towards you as you're coming up this hill to freak you out. So yeah, just be a little bit careful. So we're just gonna come down over here. We're gonna run inside and grab a grace. And then, of course, you can jump down that Spirit Spring if you don't want to fight the giant, if you're still having trouble with these guys. So come on in here. And we're going to see a familiar face.
Ah, I hadn't expected to see your face again. Are you heading to the Festival of Combat too? Oh, no need to be coy with me. Judging by the fine wallop you gave the old backside earlier, I would venture you're something of a warrior yourself. The mere thought of such a festival gets the blood pumping, eh? Now, according to my calculations, passing through this road should lead us to the Caelid Wilds. But however you slice it, it seems we've reached a dead end. I'm sorry to have raised your hopes. It seems my calculations must have been off. I was created to be a warrior vessel. Many great warriors reside within me, ever dreaming of becoming a great champion. It's my destiny. And the reason for which I quest. It is my ordeal, you could say. To test myself, to better myself, to fell ever greater foes. And then, one day, we'll be a single great champion. The greatest of them all. What do you think, eh? How do you rate my chances?
I believe the chuckle is the end.
I was many against my destiny. It is my... And then, what do you think?
And behind him is a smithing stone. Smithing stone 4, which is actually very, very, very good. So we can't open this door. And on the other side of it is a boss. So we're going to do something a little weird. It's the only time we're going to do this in the game. There is another side, an entrance to this cave. Now this cave, we shouldn't be going through it until we're about level 50 to 60. But we're going to fight the boss a little bit early. Not right now in this episode, but in a few episodes. Because he drops a really good weapon for intelligence and dexterity users. But we are, this episode, going to run through the cave. And we might die, because the soldiers there can pretty much take us out in one hit. But we're just going to panic run straight through the cave to that door and open it. And then we're going to sit down at the Grace. So that we have that boss available coming up in the next few episodes. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let's break these fences. Very important. Torrent's like, can you not ride me into these wooden... Okay, alright, I guess we're doing that. There's some dogs here. You can take them out if you want. And they're tough dogs, and they'll do some damage because, like I said, the things here are meant to be fought at level 50 or 60. And these are rot dogs, so they will do rot damage. And if you get rotted, you're going to need to run to the nearest site of grace you can find, because we do not have anything to cure rot at the moment, and it will take you down in a matter of seconds. So just keep doing charge attacks, letting them run into it. There we go. Go ahead and grab the lightning grease. So the reason that there's a string on it is that makes it faster, but lasts a little less longer. So it takes a minute to grease up your weapons, and there's a little animation to it where you're vulnerable while you're greasing it up. This one greases it up super fast, but only for about 10-15 seconds, and then it just goes away. So it's only meant for you to be used for a couple hits. Now we jump into the ever eerie and very terrifying and creepy Caelid. Some zombies back over here. They're going to eventually walk towards you. Just go ahead and grab these preserving boluses. The zombies are really slow, so we can de-aggro them by sitting down at this grace. This bird's not going to come over towards you, so don't worry. But these T-Rex birds are, in my opinion, a little bit almost as bad as rune bears. So don't fall off there. Don't go near that, runes. Those birds will tear you to shreds, and they're super fast, and they chase you for very long ways. So let's go ahead and sit down. I'm going to open up the map real quick and show you what we're going to do. We're going to hop around into this corner, we're going to run past some guards, and we're going to go through the Gael Tunnel, and then we're going to go open that door. Then after that, we're going to ride down into Caelid itself and start grabbing graces, and grabbing some good weapons and loots that are going to help different builds before we actually get into the next episode where we start actually fighting bosses and stuff. So, come back up over here by this wall. We're going to jump up on this cliff. There should be a graveyard with some slugs over here. So these little slugs are the ones that take fire damage. See how tough that is? Just one hit and didn't barely scratch it. So just ignore them. I mean, don't let them hit you, but grab all the runes here real quick. These guys really aren't worth fighting. They do not drop much runes and don't really drop any good items except beast bones. But right down here is where we're going to go. And we're going to get chased by some guards as we go into it. Stay away from these ruins and these birds. But, nope, we got 2,000 runes. We need to spend our runes. My apologies. We need to spend our runes before we do this, because there's a high probability we're going to die trying to get into this cave and trying to get all the way through to that door. So let's go ahead and go back down to this merchant. He's got some stuff we need to buy. If I was close enough to a level up, I'd just crack some runes and level up, but We still got a ways to go. I think like 3,000 runes. So let's go buy some stuff. I think he's got some smithing stones we still need to grab. And you always want to do this. You always want to spend your runes before you go into an area that's super dangerous. You don't want to go in with a full coin purse.
How nice.
Yeah, so he's got some runes. One of those, and we'll start buying his Trina lilies. Might as well buy his meat. And some arrows. Alright, there we go. So he's still got a few flowers that we want to buy just so we have the crafting materials for later. So let's go back to the rock balcony. Alright, hop up on Torn. Let's skedaddle back down to that cave. It's actually a tunnel, but there are a few different types of dungeons. There's caves, tunnels, catacombs, and the hero graves. Okay. Here goes nothing. We're really just dodging, running for our lives so we can get to that door as quickly as possible. So I come down here. And these guards are going to aggro. Just run right by them. There's going to be some guards directly in here. You're just going to have to roll. Don't even take the lift. We're just going to roll right down to the side because the lift is actually broken. So run past these guys and jump on down. And then jump down here because these guys are going to chase us. We're going to come back to this cave and we're going to clear it all out. We're going to grab all the stones and the goodies. But right now, we're just coming down here to grab this grace. These guys actually might fall down here and die. If you want, we can go ahead and sit down at the grace. But as soon as you sit down, you're trapped inside here and we got to run through. Doesn't matter, you're trapped either way. We can go ahead and de-aggro the guards. And now we're just running for our life. Let's come down through here. Go ahead and dodge that guy. Jump down here. He's going to throw a bomb, so immediately start rolling. There we go. Let your stamina pick back up, and then run. That's the boss door, and this is the door with Alexander on the other side. Go ahead and open it. Jet in, and grab the grace. And we did it. And for our reward, there's actually a couple smithing stones that we can go grab after we de-aggro the guards. Right there. Should be it. Okay. Don't go anywhere near this boss. It's a dragon of sorts. It will destroy you, and we're going to fight it much, much later after we've gone up a few levels. So now that we've done that, we should be able to oh, no, we've got to walk back out to teleport out. But now we got this grace and the boss door is open, and we can teleport back there later when we're ready to do it. And that is a very difficult boss fight. It's gonna be worth it though. It drops one of the best weapons in the entire game. Alright. Back on up to the balcony. Now, the way we're gonna go is so incredibly dangerous, it's not even funny. We're gonna go over by this camp, and it's full of dogs. We might be able to jump down the cliff and see if we can sneak by them, but if you aggro the dogs, they're gonna chase you for a bit. We're gonna try and get down to here to grab a grace, and then there's gonna be a merchant down here, and we're going to also go down into this area to grab a grace because there is a Ash of War down here that will help us tremendously in the beginning of the game. So let's go ahead and go for the first grace. Ignore all these walking zombies over here. They're extremely resilient, have a bunch of health. They're really spongy, as they say, which means that they just have a lot of HP and they take a lot to kill. Don't worry about the Ash of War that you just heard. We're going to come back and pick it up. There should be... I thought there was an arteria leaf over here, but I guess not. No, I guess not. So, I think we might be able to jump down safely and get to that grace without aggroing these dogs. Now, there's a really good colossal weapon in this, but we don't have the strength, and you're not going to have the strength to use it for a long while, so let's go ahead, and I'm pretty sure we can drop down here. And you're okay. Yep. Let's go ahead and drop down, stay away from the dogs. Like that one right there. And just come on down here, and let's grab this grace. So far, so good. Okay. So if I remember correctly, the next part that we're going to do is going to be terrifying. Yep, that's it. So, we might die here, and that's okay. But we're going to attempt to run through these two little mountains here, and immediately, as we get near it, we're going to be bombarded by these giant T-Rex birds. We're going to run past, smash the acquire button as you're going through because there's a lot of rare arteria leaves in there. And then we're going to head directly towards a camp full of soldiers. As a matter of fact, that castle right there. We're going to head right to it, and we're going to jump over the walls because that's going to run the birds that are chasing us and the dogs that are chasing us into the soldiers. And then we're going to jump down around and grab a grace. So I'm very nervous right now. My hands are shaking a little bit, so here goes nothing. And just remember to keep pressing the sprint button so that you're constantly in a sprint with Torrent. And then right about here, start hitting the acquire button as much as you can because of the arteria leaves right there. Okay, now the birds are down. They are chasing us actively right now, and they are very fast. I'm not even going to turn around to show you. We're just going to run. He is directly behind me. Keep running. Ignore the Ash of War, ignore the dogs. They're going to run up and start fighting these guys because we're going to jump over the wall, and they're going to get caught on the wall, thankfully. So just run up in here, jump over the wall, and the birds should be caught and no longer able to follow us. So they will start fighting each other. Guard might follow you around. See? Now they're fighting each other. So they no longer are interested in us. We're going to jump down on here safely and grab this grace. Ooh, they actually took that bird out and we got the runes for it. So hopefully that happens for you. Hope it does. This guy's coming over here, so let's go ahead and sit down. And de-aggro everything. There we go. Safe and sound. So, we got this grace. Now we're going to go get that Ash of War. Now it's guarded by these dogs, so we're kind of wondering like, hey, how are we going to get over there if all these dogs are over there? Here's what we're going to do. I'll hop on Torrent. The birds won't see us from this distance, but the dog will. So let him go ahead and howl, and he's going to summon all the other dogs. So we watch. All the other dogs are, what's up? Go ahead and let him chase us right back into these guards. And they will fight each other. And also, do not try and fight any of these guards. You need to be about level 50, 60 to start fighting these guys. So we're just going to run back up over here and wait until they are all lost and de-aggroed from us and fighting each other. Alright, there we go. Go ahead and jump on back down here. Stay away from that dog up there. Come on back down to the path of the shiny. And we'll go ahead and wait for it to come through and we'll hit it. Most people put down signs in the path to kind of help you out, so if you come over here. Attacking. Whoa. Oh gosh! Oh no, he's fighting soldiers. Thought he saw me. Scared me. So the ball takes a minute. It's got a really, really long path. And you might get lucky and get some runes. And you see I got 3,000 runes just from people attacking and fighting each other. So that's awesome. Alright, here he comes. Oh my goodness, I missed it. How embarrassing. I'll do that next time, then might catch it. Hopefully these guards don't see me. So everything is kind of going back to their patrol and spawn point. We're safe right here. Well, looks like some stuff are... enemies are still fighting each other. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. Always embarrassing to miss stuff. It's, let me think. Got anything that I can... No, not really. Best I can do is just, try a faster weapon. Let's try that. And these balls only take one hit to get it. Now we got the legendary Ash of War, Flame of Redmanes. This is such a good Ash of War. It's going to help us out a lot. So come on down over here. I'm trying to think if I want to put it on the sword right now. No, we're not going to be fighting anything that I'll need it for, so go ahead and sit down, just check my level up. Okay, I'm almost 2,000 away, so go ahead and leave. Now, we're going to come back up to this side of Grace, and we're going to go down the road, actually, to another side of Grace. And of course, we'll come back to this castle later and clear it out. We're going to run through these ruins. We're not going to fight anything in here. If you see any goodies, you know, lying around, go ahead and grab them. These skeletons will blow up if they come near you, so be careful. And there are some tanks hiding around corners in here, so if you really want to get through and get out of here as soon as possible, head on down this road to this other Grace over here. Stay away from that bird up there. Grab the Grace as quickly as we can. Everything in here is, we're way too underleveled to be fighting anything in here, so need to be extra careful. These are bird eye views that you can use to look around. You can use the bird eye telescopes found in various areas to get a bird eye views of the terrain in the direction that the telescope is facing. 3 to zoom in, 4 to zoom out, or 4 to zoom in. And so it'll take us in, and now we can look at the entire place. So that was the castle that we were just at, and those are the walls, and that's the area we ran through. The birds, that's the bird that's right behind me. That's the ruins that we ran through. Over there, we're going to end our journey in Caelid at that shack up there. We're going to grab a few Graces over there, and we're going to teleport over to that building over there. And we're going to, right now, go down this road, grab Graces, all the way down to this castle down there. And then we're going to grab a couple Ash of Wars. The ruins right there on the lake, we're going to go into those ruins and grab a staff and a spell that's going to help out intelligence users a bunch. But we're going to stay out of the other part of that lake. We're going to end our journey in the southern part of Caelid at that town down there, grabbing a Grace down there. So let's go ahead and head on down the road, shall we? Oh, eat and there we go. We'll talk to this just to get a little bit of lore for you guys.
You, please, I can read them. Your fingers, please, your fingers. Oh, bless you. Are you one for festivals or flowers? To the south, a grand festival to make the stars turn. To the east, the heart and bud of a flower to be. But dare you enter into the heart of the scarlet rot?
Those are called finger readers. Okay, so next, very shortly, even though we just found one, there should be another Grace very shortly right down here. Stay on the left side of the road. Might get attacked. Might aggro a few enemies that are going to chase you a little bit. See the merchant down there, so gotta run around this tree to stay away from the road because there are some enemies in the road that we don't want chasing us. We're going to come over here and grab this Grace. Feel free to aggro those dogs and just kind of wait for them to fight each other and take them out so you can get the runes like I have right now. Just so we can buy some stuff from the merchants that we run into.
Welcome, dear customer. Yes, right, welcome, valued customer. Come, trade in our wandering emporium. Please, buy something. I'm hungry.
So this is where you want to get fire arrows, and we can obviously buy regular arrows. These are used for crafting items, so we'll buy those later. And then these are really good for curing rot, so... and then we're going to make plenty of these, but we can also max out on these. This is where you come to get these 5 attack items if you need them. It's this merchant right here, so... Go ahead and... Yeah, so I put a little... Wow, I got that like spot on. That was crazy. That was just a guess that I put right there of where it was going to be, but I nailed it. Alright, so... Got 4,000 runes. See how close we are to a level up. Ooh, 2,000 away. So, alright, I guess I'm just going to have to be a little bit gutsy. We're going to go down to these ruins. And we're going to grab a staff, and we're going to grab a spell. And we're going to get attacked, but the guys are pretty slow. If we're lucky enough... Oh, I didn't realize there was another grace over here. Let's go ahead and grab this rune. Fortunately, we're not at a place where we can level up yet, or farm for runes, so can't really do anything about the fact that I don't have any runes. Oh, shoot. I need to jump in the swamp. Let me see if only one last time. You splendid blade dancing amongst the scarlet rot. Not sure what that means, but let's go ahead and head on over. Stay on torrent. Do not hop into this. This is scarlet rot, and as soon as you jump into it off torrent, it will start rotting you. Let's come up over here, and we're going to come along the edge and... Oop, we didn't grab it. Apologies. Maybe we can't. I wonder if they changed that. You should be able to grab it if you stop. It's right here. Oh, no. There's a bunch of flowers inside the room, and if you try and go inside, they will rot you really fast. So just keep jumping. They might have changed it. I guess they got wise. So you see these flowers in here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get in there without getting rotted and grab it. Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and let these flowers come out towards us so we can get them out of the room. Don't go near those clouds because it will rot you. So just go ahead and let them come on out and chase us so we can get them out of the room. We can try and walk over. Let's see if we can walk over and grab it. Oh, okay. You can just walk over and grab it. So that's the meteorite staff. Very important staff. And the staff that we're going to be using for the first half of the game. Now, if we come over here, there should be a staircase that we're going to have to just bolt down into as fast as we can. Run down, grab the treasure, and then bolt right back up on torrent and ride past all these guys. Let's go ahead and open this up. Grab the chest. Rock Sling, very important spell. So hop on torrent back down here and then just bolt back up before these guys can cut you off. And we did it. Let's go ahead and ride back up to the grace that we came down from. Do not go into the swamp because you will get invaded and you will die. So that is what we came down here for. Let's go ahead and grab these rare butterflies right here. Oops, missed them. There we go. Just run away from these guys before they can hit you. They'll do some damage. And we'll despawn everything. Or de-aggro, I should say. Okay, here's what's next. Now we're going to come up onto this road. There should be a grace right here, and then very gingerly, we're going to work our way up onto a cliff. There'll be a graveyard. We'll clear out some... I thought something was coming towards me. We'll get some runes, and we'll ignore all the skeletons in there, because just like the skeleton that turned into the rune bear, there's an enemy over here that'll turn into a giant, and he's way too tough for us. But we're going to stay up on the edge of the cliff, because there is a sleeping rot dragon right here. We're going to sneak around into the church and grab the grace, but the church is not safe, because near the church there is a banished knight that is also way too strong for us. So we're going to grab the grace, and then we're going to run away. And we're going to run down here, we're going to grab the map fragment, grab another couple of graces, talk to a merchant, and head up onto the last part of the southern part of Caelid. So let's get back up onto the road. Remember, be careful on the road because there are enemies and they will aggro at you and they're very annoying. So let's go ahead and just cross at a safe interval. There's rot dogs and these little pesty centipede creatures, those guys, that have really long halberds that they poke you with, and they shoot out threads that home in on you like missiles, and yeah, very annoying. So come over here on the right side. And you'll see, yeah, there's a starlight shard up there. And that's where the skeleton is that will rebirth into a giant. So, or no, it's over by the graveyard, but we'll go ahead and grab the starlight shard anyways. And you really want to save these starlight shards for end of the game bosses. Do not want to be cracking them anytime soon. Let's go ahead and grab this grace. And then right on the other side of that little hill of weird stuff is a dragon. I'll go ahead and show him to you guys because he's awesome. And there he is sleeping. If you come any closer, he will wake up. So we're not going to go that way. We're going to come up over here. We're going to grab all the runes that are inside this graveyard, and later on I'll come back to take out the giant so I can get the larval tier that he drops. As I said, if you need a larval tier, these enemies that turn into other enemies after you take them down, they are they're always a constant and good place. And we'll find other larval tiers just kind of laying around, but it's this guy right here. So if you attack him and take him down, he will turn into a giant. Those trolls that we've been fighting. Not the stone ones, but the trolls with the swords that yell out and scream. So now the dragon is down over there, so we kind of snuck around behind him. I think there might be an Arteria leaf over here. Let me check. Yep, there is. Let's grab this Arteria leaf. Come back over here, and I'll show you the church. And then we're going to look for the Banished Knight, because we don't want to run into him. He's very strong, and he will give us the what for. Oh, I didn't realize there's a Banished Knight over here, too. I have never seen this guy before. My apologies. See, this is what I mean. I'm finding new stuff in this game every time I play it. I have never seen that knight down there before. That is incredible to me. Very interesting. So let's go see where this knight is. We really have to wait because he will walk through the church. He's on patrol right now, and if we run into him, he will chase us and destroy us. So we really need to be careful and find out where he is so that we can sneak into the church and grab the grace. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Oh, he saw us. Okay. Okay. Put his sword away. So that's him. So be very careful. You're going to wait till he goes around to the back side of the church before we go in, because if he cuts in and actually goes into the church, he will find us. I did not know there was another knight over there. So when we come back in this area, I'm going to have to remind myself that there's a knight over there and see what he's all about. Let's go see. If he goes around to the back of the church, we're going to run in, grab the grace and the book that's in there. So let's see where he goes. Okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and grab this book. And grab the grace. Remember, if he comes in and attacks you, this grace will not be a safe place. You won't be able to sit down at it. This is where you do Dragon Communion to get dragon spells. We're going to do that later after we take out some dragons. So we're going to go ahead and get right on out of here. I'm afraid it's nighttime, so I think the Night Rider might be out. But let's see. Stay over here because there's birds over there. I don't want to aggro them. Is it nighttime? Can't tell if it's nighttime. Sometimes nighttime really does look like morning or just in the middle of the day. So if it's nighttime, there'll be a Night Rider. Those dark guys on horses. The black horses. And you don't want to fight him yet. Let's go ahead and grab the map fragment. And then come on over here and talk to this merchant.
Buying or selling?
Another short one, but go ahead and grab the pot from him, and then I'm going to sell some items to get 2,000 so we can buy the cookbook. Let's go ahead and sell all these because we're going to pick up 1 trillion of them. And my earthly flowers. And let's go ahead and sell runes until we're at 4,000. And we'll buy the book. And then we'll come back for the stone sword key. And if you want any of this armor, this is cool armor. This is the armor that the hero starts with, the starting class hero. And then this is just a cool old knight's helmet, looking helmet. And then I'll buy this sometime so I forgot what it actually says. Right, so let's go ahead, and there's a Site of Grace down here. And you can see the wings right there on that bird. Yeah, that's a big boss. They're called the Deathrite Bird, and they are vicious, and you want to stay away from it at all costs, so it is nighttime, which is weird. That means that... Oh, there he is. So there's the Night Rider. Guess we just missed him. So, yeah, just ignore these bosses, because they will demolish you in one hit. So go on down over here and grab this Grace. Just got a few more Graces to grab, and then we're done with the southern part of Caelid for now. So there is a giant up here that's going to yell and start throwing blue bombs at us, so do not stop. Just keep on pushing through. You can grab the items, but just do not stop whatsoever, because you will get hit. So he's going to throw blue bombs down. So it's safe to grab the items, just do not stop whatsoever. Now we're going to come back down through here, and we're going to ride up onto the rocks, so that we do not aggro this T-Rex dog. We should be safe all the way to the shack. Come down around here, and we're going to start a quest.
Oh, a pleasure to see you. A pleasure indeed. I am Gowry, a great sage. In my day, anyway. I'd hoped to ask a favor when one of your ilk came along. A strapping young Tarnished, able to cross the Scarlet Swamp of Aeonia. Don't fret, I'll provide fine recompense. Should you accept, I will teach you the secret of Sellia, the town you see there.
Accept, or hear the request.
Ah, then you are willing to lend a hand, are you? I need your help to heal a certain young girl. Her name is Millicent. You will find her beyond Sellia, resting at the church atop the cliff, stricken by the rotting sickness. The rotting sickness that afflicts Millicent has no cure. When the Erd Tree flourished, even the demigods could not stave off its effects, despite their nigh godhood. But Millicent's suffering can be ameliorated. For this, you are to find a certain needle. Seek the deep Scarlet Swamp of Aeonia outside Sellia's bounds. The needle, made from unalloyed gold, is lost somewhere there. First, you must find the unalloyed gold needle. It's hidden somewhere in the deep Scarlet Swamp of Aeonia. Then I will tell you, as promised, the secret of the town of Sellia.
Okay. Hop back up on Torrent. Stay away from this dog, so come down the cliff this way. We're going to run into the town. Some glintstone fireflies that you want to pick up. There's going to be a bunch of mages that are going to spawn in and attack us. Just run right past them. Zigzag if you can, because they're shooting magic that is pretty powerful for this stage. Ignore everything in this town. Run down here. Grab this Grace. Oh, that hurt. Grab the Grace and then sit down to despawn everything. Or, I'm sorry, de-aggro, I should say. And then we're going to get back up, and we're going to run back into the town. Run up the stairs. Just whack that guy so he stops shooting magic at us. We're going to run through here. Run up these stairs to grab a golden seed. And then for safety, we're going to jump across the roofs to get on out of here. So right here, because the wizards are coming up the stairs to chase us. Let's go ahead and jump onto these roofs over here. Jump across to this one. Oh, almost dropped down there. Go ahead and jump on over here. We're gonna jump across to here. Hop off Torrent and gingerly grab this helmet. That increases the amount that your cerulean tears will replenish. Go ahead and grab this item real quick. Off Torrent. Toxic mushrooms, very important. Go ahead and hop across over here. That is a disappearing one that will disappear if you try and go up next to it. So just go ahead and drop down right here. Just make sure that guy doesn't see us. You don't want that guy to come over here. He's very annoying. So we're just going to go ahead and crawl on over. Don't think it's that good of an Ash of War, but we'll go ahead and get it just now, just so we don't got to worry about it. Because we do have a bow and arrow, so we should be able to barrage it. Let's go ahead and equip your bow, the one that we bought from the merchant that has barrage on it. Put it in your left hand. And then we're going to just barrage this thing with arrows, and hopefully we get it. If it doesn't, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll get it later. So let's go. Nope, alright, disappeared. Oh! Just disappeared right next to us. I didn't realize it was going to pop up right there. So like I said, it'll do it 3 times. Gives you 3 chances to hit it. Don't know where it went. Oh, it's back up there. Hey, we got it. Oh, double slash. It's actually a very good Ash of War, so yeah, it's actually kind of worth it to get that. Okay, let's put our shield back on. So that's the last item we're going to grab, but it's going to aggro that guy right there, and then we're going to head on out of the town. And I actually, I'll show you guys the map in a second. We're going to head back out of the town. We're going to go back to this Grace, because I forgot we're actually going to go down here and grab one more Ash of War and a side of Grace. So let's go ahead and very gingerly come up onto this thing. Might as well just get this guy out. Makes it a lot easier. What'd you drop us? What'd you drop us? Okay. Those are magic items that do magic damage. They shoot out little beams of magic. It's pretty cool. Let's go on, grab here and grab this stone sword key, and then we'll teleport on over to this side of Grace. And we're gonna want to make it daytime so that that Night Rider isn't in the road. And just like the okay, it is daytime. And as you can see, that Deathrite bird is now gone. He's a nighttime boss. So, what we're actually going to do... Okay, we're almost out of runes, so we might die here because of the bird. That's okay. But it's kind of the same idea as what we did with running to get those artillery leaves. We're going to run and then run these birds that are chasing us into a group of soldiers and then go get a side of Grace. But if you come up over here, there should be an area to drop down in that will lead us to a... talisman. Or I'm sorry, not a talisman, but a tier. So that bird is going to get aggroed. Both these birds are going to get aggroed. So they might actually hit me. Might even kill me. If it does, no big deal. We just want to try and grab the crystal tier that's down here. So go ahead and jump down on this and then ride on down the hill. The bird has been aggroed. Just keep running and grab it. Now get on out of here. Oh my lord. So nerve-wracking. Jump off the cliff. And keep running. I promise the birds are directly behind me. And we gotta run on the side. These dogs are actually pretty vicious and they will catch up to you. So run through here to kind of get them stuck on the trees. And then jump down here and they'll run into the soldiers. Thankfully, we are safe. They're not blowing the horn because of you. I mean, they are, but they're not going to keep fighting you. They're gonna start fighting the dogs and the birds. And we just come over here and grab this Grace. And then we can just kind of sit here and gather some runes. Let them fight each other. See the runes that we're getting for this? What we're going to do is we're going to climb up here. We're actually going to fight 2 guards. We're going to stamp word uppercut them so that we stagger them because they're pretty tough for this this point in the game. Especially at our level. But we want to take them out because there's a talisman for our bow up here that we want to get. So go ahead and climb up, see if we can sneak up and repost him. Yep, we can. Oh, that was weird. Okay, I got one down. Oh, ow. Yeah, just really let those guys have it. Climb out up here. There should be 1 or 2 more guards. A good strategy is to just drop back down this hole and let them fall down and then climb back up the ladder. So we'll see. Yep, there's one right there. Oh, shoot. Didn't realize he had a spear. Okay, go ahead and drop down here. And then they're going to drop down too. And when they do, we can hit them. There he is. Go ahead and repost him. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, didn't kill me. That's good. That's okay. He should jump down after us. Be surprised if he doesn't. So if he starts climbing down the ladder, he can actually kick us in the head, and then we can actually pull him down and grab his foot. It's pretty funny. There we go. Hey, just chill. Okay. So after you cleared all these guys out, there's a chest up here with another arrow talisman that does increases our damage for not only arrows, but any projectile, even throwing knives and stuff like that. It'll increase any projectile in the game for the arrow steam talisman. Then we're going to grab one more Ash of War, and we are done with Southern Caelid for now. It's right up over here on this hill. Now, this Ash of War, you got to come at it at a certain angle, because if you don't, it will drop off the cliff. And if it drops off the cliff, it will land next to a bunch of guards, and if you try and chase it down the cliff, the guards will immediately attack you as soon as. So I think it's kind of designed that way. So we're going to sneak up this little embankment here onto this side so that when we attack it, it will take off this way and maybe drop off the cliff and die. But if it drops off this way, then it will land next to a bunch of guards. A bunch of guards right there just waiting for it. So we're going to sneak up right here. Give it a stamp word uppercut. Stagger it and smash. And we got Cragblade, one of the best Ash of Wars in the game. Let's go ahead and read this. The Star Scourge conflict, where Dawn alone holds Sellia secure and stands tall to shatter the stars. Dawn is one of the coolest characters in this game. So you can see we still got some guys fighting over here, so if you want to give it a second, they might take each other out, and we'll gather the runes. I mean, I already got 4,000 runes just from, see, get another 400 right there. Takes a second, you know, but we can go through. You know what? This is a good time to go ahead and read some items that we have been picking up. So, what's new? We got Exalted Flesh. Considered a delicacy in the Badlands, this invigorating repast was for the exclusive benefit of those who they deem heroes. This lump of broken glintstone, unweathered with a magic power. A Fa sorcery used by the Knights of Cuckoo. Craftable item. Launched straight ahead using FP, a magic bolt springs forth from the point of impact. These greases just say the same thing as the other ones, just tells you what kind of affinity that it does. See, we got another Firefly. Firefly, whose glowing tail has hardened into glintstone, widely found in Lernia Lake, material used for crafting items. Alas, now that its tail is glintstone, it can no longer beguile potential mates. Interesting. We already read these. Oh, we got these. Butterfly with withered scarlet wings found in the swamp of Aeonia, material used for crafting items. According to myth, these butterflies were once the wings of the goddess of Rot herself, which we will meet in a later, much later episode, but she's my favorite character. Let's see, we got a couple of different ashes, I believe. Oh, this crystal tear formed slowly over the ages where the Erd Tree's bounty falls to the ground. Can be mixed in the Wondrous Flask of Wondrous Physic. The resulting concoction increases the effectiveness of dodge rolls for a certain duration. However, damage taken is also increased during the concoction's effect. So this increases the width and speed in which you roll, but you take more damage if you get hit. And Death Root. A source that gives rise to those who live in death. The Beast Clergyman found at Bestial Sanctum in the distant east collects and devours these roots. On the night of the dire plot, the stolen Rune of Death enabled the first death of a demigod. Later, the Rune of Death spread across the lands between through the underground roots of the great tree, sprouting in the form of Death Root. Kind of eerie. And let's see. Oh, God. One of the glintstone sorceries that manipulates gravitational forces pulls a clumps of rock from the earth and sends them flying. This sorcery can be cast while in motion, a gravitational technique studied by the young Red Dawn. His master was an alabaster lord with skin of stone. Those alabaster lords are the gravitational guys that we've been fighting. I already read that. Let's see, Cragblade. So this covers your weapon in rocks and increases the physical damage that it does. And it makes your stagger meter come up even more, so you can stagger enemies easier. Flame of Redmanes also has incredible stagger power. So you just shoot out a burst of flames in a wide frontward arc. Very, very, very powerful. I think that's everything that we've got at the moment. Oh, here we go. Blue Scarab born directly on the head. These scarabs roll clumps of cerulean tears during their labors. Slightly increases the recovery flask of cerulean tears, but increases damage taken. I think that's all we got for now. Oh, nope, Scorpion Charm. Talisman carried by assassins who strike unseen, patterned on a scorpion freshly shed of its exoskeleton. Its claws seizing a heart with a blessed glow. Raises holy attack power, but lowers damage negation. A talisman in the shape of a green turtle raises stamina recovery speed. Turtles are known as nutritious ingredients, symbolic of inexhaustible power. However, those who hold turtles to be wise creatures consider the practice of eating their meat to be barbarous. And I agree. I feel so bad for having to take out the turtles and gather their meat, but super important. All right, we are done with Southern Caelid for now. So we will come back and go through all the caves, and we'll clear out all the castles and do all that fun stuff much, much later, after we've taken out our second shard bearer. But right now, we just came through, got all the goodies that are available to us right now. Oh, forgot to go over the staff. The meteorite staff. Let's see here. Weapons. There it is. Staff embedded with the dark purple glintstone, said to be the fragment of a meteorite. Boost high sorcery scaling and boost gravity sorceries as well. However, this staff cannot be strengthened in any way. So, for intelligence users, starting off, as you can see from this staff, the scaling starts at a C for intelligence, and sorcery scaling down at the bottom right under critical is 109. This one, not sure why it says 60 right now. It's going to scale with S. So whatever your intelligence is, it's going to raise it even higher. So if my intelligence was at, say, like 20 right now, this would be scaling well into the 150, 160 area. And this is going to, no staff is going to catch up to this until we get about halfway through the game into a place called Lindell. This staff is going to be the most powerful staff that you can use at this moment. And the Rock Sling spell that we picked up in the same ruins, that is a gravitational spell, so it will actually do more damage and be boosted by that staff. And this does incredible damage, and it does incredible stagger damage. So very, very awesome spell to use. It's going to help you get through some very, very tough bosses. So let's get on out of here, and what we're going to do now, let's go back up to Alexander. We're going to work our way down this hill to the Third Church of Marika, picking up any goodies that we see. I think there's just a bunch of wolves to take out. But I'm just covering areas, so if you're wondering, like, hey, if there's nothing really in this area, why are we going through it? Because this is a 100% walkthrough, and I want to cover every inch of the entire game to show everybody what's in areas if they don't want to go through them and stuff like that. So I'm not going to fight this giant again because he's roly-poly, and that freaked me out, and he was pretty tough, actually. He had a lot of HP, so go ahead and just skip this guy. But, oof, we are pretty close to a level up, so I'm going to go back on what I just said, and I'm going to fight him. Just because of how close we are to a level up, but I'm going to buff up because this guy was pretty intense. Yeah, so he rolls. Okay. Punk. What in the world? I didn't hit the F button. What's up? How'd that feel? Good. a chunk of damage, didn't it? That was pretty good. Gotcha. Oh, you got your sword now? What's up? That's right. Yeah, that guy's pretty intense. He's gonna come rolling down at you, so. But it's worth it, because now we got enough for a level up. Go ahead and grab any foliage you see. Oops. And we'll go ahead and go take out these poor wolfies. Just for the sake of completionists. No, is it the cave? Yeah, it's the cave. Okay, so we'll come down this way. And so this is the last episode that we're going to be doing stuff like this. The next episode, we are going to dive into dungeons, caves, bosses. We're going to actually progress through the storyline. We just have a few more things to do in Northern Caelid and a few more things to grab. And we are set and ready to go. Ready to start getting the bulk of the game completed. My apologies that, it's taken, 6, 7 episodes to get this far, but it's worth it, I promise. I'm sorry. Lily. Seems like it's not important, but I promise it is. There are many bosses coming up later in the game that you're going to want to use sleep arrows and sleep pots on. So every Trina Lily is vitally important, especially because they don't respawn, so you only get a certain set amount in the game. You get a few. I believe there's a little over 100, 150 maybe. So there's quite a few, but it's not enough to make infinite sleep item or sleep. What was that? Oh, that was a bloodstain. Thought that was a arterial leaf. Okay, let's get on down here to the Third Church of Marika, where we will go through a portal, taking us into Northern Caelid. And this is the portal that was marked on our map by D, the hunter that we met when we fought the Tibian Mariner. Birds looking a little too close to the edge to comfortably go get their feathers. I'm just going to leave the rest of the dogs. Okay, so right behind the church was this little portal. And this was what he marked on our map. Let's go ahead and go head on in here. Immediately, we're going to have a grace. Well, not immediately. So immediately, though, turn right around, and there's this giant gargoyle here who will be more than happy to demolish you and send you back to the Erd Tree if you go anywhere near him, so leave him alone. Go over here and open these doors. To the Bestial Sanctum. Go grab this grace, and we're going to give our first death root to Gowry. Give him the death root. now we got our first seal in the game, so we can cast incantations. And not only that, but this seal scales with strength. It's the only seal in the game that does. Very good with strength. And this Beast Eye is just an item that's now inside of our inventory that will tell us where Deathroot is. So if we are walking along, we see a little message that says the Beast Eye quivers. That means that there's Deathroot nearby. And there are 9 Deathroots, I believe, in the game. Each time we give him one, he'll give us a new incantation to use, and then at the end, he'll give us a Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. So, definitely a quest that we want to complete. We're going to sit down here and see if we can do a level up real quick. Alright. Going down into... Alright, so I did that. I'm going to do Endurance, and then the next 4 or 5 levels are all going to be for Strength and Dexterity. So now that we spent our runes, we're going to lose them. And here is how we're going to lose them. So we're in Northern Caelid now. It's a little bit of ways to find the map fragment, so we're going to be kind of riding around in the dark. But I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff. And then once we do get the map fragment, all the stuff that I showed you will make a little bit more sense. We're going to come back here. And we're going to do some platforming. And you're going to die a lot, because this is not easy to do. And there are some very vicious and powerful bats down here. And I might die a few times, and I promise that if I die more than twice doing this, I'm going to come back to it and do it later. But I've been practicing this, and I should be able to get it done. Go over here, and right down here is a branch that we're going to jump off to. So just go ahead and just kind of very carefully push down and land on it. Then come up over here, and there's another branch we're going to jump down to. So just make sure that it's under you, and then just press forward. And it should be good. And then come over here. Signs will usually tell you where it's safe to drop off. Lots of people like to help other players out like that. So just go ahead and roll down onto this. And then believe there should be some bats that are starting to come up. So got to be kind of hasty. Go ahead and hop on Torrent. Come over. Go past this one. Go down to maybe about the second one right here. Actually, I wasn't sure if there's any items up here. I'm almost certain there isn't. But let me just double check. I'm not too sure if I've actually rode all the way around on this side. Oh, there are some glowstones up here. Or Sanctuary Stone. Okay. I guess there's some Sanctuary Stones up over in the corner, but nothing too important. But here's what we're going to do, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. We're going to have to jump down pretty quickly, so just try and watch it a couple of times, and then sort of rehearse it in your head, and then you're going to try it, and you're probably going to die, and that's okay. Just keep giving it a shot, because there's a talisman and a knife that scales with strength down here that we want to get. So go past, that's the one that we jumped down on. So go past the first one and go to the second one, the second opening. And we're going to jump down. We're going to lose a little bit of health. That's okay. We're going to jump down here. All right, and then immediately we're going to jump down onto this ledge, and they'll aggro these bats. You see the bat right there. These bats are very powerful. So we're going to jump down onto this ledge right here, and then we're just going to drop down right next to that bat, and then we're going to run over to where that item is, and we're going to jump down onto the ledge beneath it where there will be a bat, and then we're going to jump over to this other pillar, and then jump over to a ledge all the way down. So I know that sounds a little confusing. I'm going to try and pull it off right here, and it's going to be very nerve-wracking, and I might die, but here we go. Better heal, actually. There's going to be a bat right here. It's okay. Just ignore him. And jump down to here. And then jump down to... Oops. Oh, no. Oh, messed that up. Oh, I don't know how I survived that. Well, normally you were supposed to jump down right here. But go ahead and grab the knife. Oh, shoot. Oh, gosh. You see how much health that took? Let's go ahead and just take off. Run through here and grab this talisman. But what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to jump down onto the middle of the... right there, and then jump down onto the ledge right there, and then jump down safely right there. But I fell, and it somehow still worked out. So I apologize I didn't get to show you exactly the strategy that I had. But it's going to take a minute for these guys to despawn. I might actually just have to drop off the cliff and die, and just get rid of these runes, because these bats are strong. You're supposed to be at like a level 100 in this area. So I'm not going to be able to beat them, and they'll most likely take me down. But as you can see, I can't open my map or teleport right now. unfortunately, so I don't think they're going to actually de-aggro until I either take them down or I just jump off the cliff. Because, I mean, I'm nowhere near them, and they still won't let me open the map. Oh, jeez. So we can try, but I'm not holding my breath that I can take these guys down. I mean, look at that. I did next to no damage. Let's see if just maybe hitting them might cool them off. No, alright, I don't want to waste any more time. Sorry, guys. So that's why I recommend spending all your runes before you go down there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hop on Torrent and ride directly under this dude's feet. Just ride right past him. He might aggro. Yep, he's angry. Just keep riding. Ride behind these rocks because he has a breath attack that can catch you. And go ahead and grab this gold seed. Oh, that was the breath attack. And ride past all these little guys right here. Those guys are dangerous. You don't want to be chased by these little vulgar militiamen. They will kill you in one hit. So ride down here. So he's still back up there. You're safe down here. Ride down here and grab this grace. And there's a dragon ahead. He can't see us. He's just going to be walking back and forth. He's not staring at us. I know it looks scary, but I promise you he's going to turn around in a second. He's just walking back and forth on this bridge. And usually when I say something's going to happen, it doesn't. There you go. So he's going to turn around, so we're safe right now. But this field that we're in, this is the field that we are going to be farming for runes in. This is the best farming place to get runes for level ups or whatever you need in the entire game, up until after we get through like the first half of the game. So the first half of the game, this is the best place, and I'll show you how, most likely in the next episode. In this one I'm trying to get through and grab all the graces instead. So we're going to run under this dragon. It's a little freaky, but we're going to wait until he's turned around so that we can run under him, because if he sees us coming, then he's going to aggro and maybe shoot some fire at us. So we'll wait till he turns around, and then we're going to book it across the bridge. Alright, and go. I'm just going to go right under him. And just keep going. He's going to scream, it's going to be freaky, it's going to shake and stuff, but he shouldn't do anything that can hit you. So just keep on going. Run right past him. Oh my goodness. Just as I say that, he hits me. Alright, well, that might happen. I'm not sure why he did that, but just go ahead and just keep on running. He's not going to come chase you. They're super slow. I couldn't believe he actually attacked me there. Well, I must have done this about 50 times, and that's the first time he's actually caught me with his tail. So I'm going to run up over here. You're going to hear a bunch of lightning and stuff, and we're going to come down off this cliff. And don't worry, he can't even see us anymore. And there is a graveyard with some runes in here, and this graveyard is empty, so feel free to just freely grab all the goodies here. And then over here is a spirit spring. And we're going to jump down the spirit spring. So he's on the bridge still. He can't get around this corner. He can't see us. His wings are right there. It's already de-aggroed, so go ahead and jump down onto the spirit spring. And we are at a rise, which is just like that rise with the 3 turtles that we took out in the last episode that gave us another slot for a spell. This one has no puzzle, however. We are just going to jump into it. It does have an enemy in there, but we're not going to fight the enemy. There's no point. It doesn't drop anything useful. So that down there is a field for a boss. Very, very insane and intense boss. One of the most insane fights in the entire game. But on this bridge over here, be careful at nighttime because there is a night rider. If you go up this bridge and up the hill, it takes us right over to the field that we were just at. Up this hill is absolutely nothing. There is no secret items. There's no useful items. It is full of nothing but vulgar militiamen that are very deadly, and poison traps. So we're not going to run anywhere near it. What we are going to do is we're going to make it nighttime, and we're going to cheese our first boss. I mean, kind of cheese the Tree Sentinel a little bit. So this one, though, it's straight up, we are abusing the terrain to make this knight fall to his death. And so I know that's not very fair, but there are multiples, as you can see already, there's multiples of these guys in the game, and this one is not the toughest one. We're going to fight stronger ones that are way more intense later on. So this one we are going to use for a rune dump, just like we did with the, whatchamacallit. I'm sorry, I'm having a... Just like we did with the Tree Sentinel. But I'm just now realizing that I need to find a second gold pickled foulfoot, because there's another thing that we're going to use it for, so we're actually going to do this a different episode. My apologies, I thought I had 2 pickled foulfoots. I could have sworn I picked up another one, but looks like I'm going to have to go pick up another one while we're off air, while I'm not recording, and then I will come back and show you guys how to cheese that, and we'll use all of his runes for the level up. But until then, what we're going to do is we're coming to the spring, and we're going to... You have to literally go to the very edge of it and jump to make this jump that I'm about to make. Did I make it? Yep, made it. Okay, so like I said, you got to go to the very, very edge in order to jump all the way up here. And it'll take a few tries, and then once you do, go ahead and hop off. We're going to come up here and grab the memory stone. So it's another memory stone, so now... Mage users, faith users, intelligence users, you now have another slot for another spell. I'll go down here just to showcase what's down here. Go ahead and pull the lever. It's a very weird thing. It has something to do with the crystal, or the Academy of Ray Lucaria. Some people think that this is an NPC trapped in here. Selen, specifically, the one that we met when we fought the Pumpkinhead. If you come down here, most of the stuff is in disarray. This is also how you get down here. I forgot. We have to go down here in order to get out of this place because it's too high up. But this thing is a ball that will just spray some mist at you. It's very tough. And it doesn't drop anything, doesn't drop too many runes, so it's not worth fighting. That mist will drain your health pretty quickly. So yeah, just a little bit of lore. It's the only... I think it's one of the only rises with an actual enemy inside of it. The rest of them are safe. So go ahead and go to this balcony and jump off with Torrent. And we are going to take the Spirit Spring back up, because if we go down this way... Oh, did I not grab this Grace? My apologies. If we do not go down this way, or if we do go down this way, big metal balls will appear out of thin air and start rolling towards us like Indiana Jones. So we don't want to go down that way, because those balls will kill us in one hit. So instead, we're going to take the much safer route and go back up here. Well, I shouldn't say safer, but the less dangerous, the less evil of the two routes. Because every route in Caelid is just incredibly dangerous. What we're going to do is we're going to ride around the side here, because there is a boss in front of this tree that we do not want to aggro. He will also demolish us. But we are going to ride by him. Oh yeah, there's another lightning spot with some lightning flowers. Like I said, don't be scared of the lightning. Go ahead and grab the flowers, because lightning does not do that much damage, even if it does hit you. It won't kill you. So that right there, you can see that thing kind of breathing right in front of the pots, right above my head. That's an Erd Tree Avatar. They're in front of these Erd Trees, and they're they're not too difficult. They're pretty relaxed and easy bosses to take out, but this one is really strong, and he's covered in rot, so he will give you some trouble. You don't want to fight him yet, so we're going to go around him. Should be a Spirit Spring over here, yes. Jump up this Spirit Spring. Now there is a secret down here in a golem that we're not going to go down until very later in the game. So until then, just go ahead and hop on up here. There should be some dragons up here, so we got to be a little bit careful, but there should be a Grace over here. And that right there is a big dragon stuck inside the ground. And that is its wings. This is a legendary dragon that unfortunately cannot fly anymore. And we're going to give it a kind mercy, and we're going to take it down. Now, if you come over here, there are tons of little dragons around it. Should be about 5 little dragons around it. Now, from what I hear, you can fight those little dragons, and that will cause the big dragon to die. But we can also just attack the big dragon, and it won't move. It'll scream, and you'll hear a bunch of noises. It'll sound like the dragons are walking around. They won't come up over here. We are safe right here. But before we do that, we're going to do something a little nerve-wracking. And we're going to run into this fort right here. There is a talisman in here that is going to be just so insanely vital to the early parts of the game. Oh, that scream, the red stuff you see around me, that came from her scream. It lowers my attack and defense for a little bit. So that's what that scream does. So that's what the red is around you, in case you're wondering. But we're going to run into this place. We're going to die very, very, very quickly. That's okay, because what we're doing is we're just going to get a legendary talisman that boosts some of our attributes by 5 levels. It also increases the damage we take, but it's the 5 levels that it gives us is way, way worth it. We're also going to pick up half of a medallion that will be key to a elevator that we need to turn on later in the game. So, there are a bunch of bats in here. You need to follow the path that I run. We're going to run immediately towards a ladder. Go ahead and turn on your lantern so you can see. We're going to run straight to a ladder and just start smashing the climb button, and then we're going to climb. Now, when you climb up ladders, I feel like I forgot to mention this in case I have. When you climb up ladders, if you hold the sprint button, you climb faster. So you need to hold the sprint button. You might get poisoned. You might get hit by the bats. It's okay. Just try again. That's why we got rid of all of our runes. Follow my path. Go straight to this ladder and climb up. That's the first part. Straight to the left. Straight to the left. Right to this ladder. And climb. Start climbing. And we're good. The bats cannot fly up here. So as soon as you get up on the ladder, it does not matter how many of them come in, we are safe. And grab this chest. And this chest is the first half of the medallion. We'll get the second one a little bit later in a couple episodes. Now the next part, a bunch of soldiers are going to spawn in. They're going to come in, they look all blue and spirity. We're going to skip the first hole, we're going to jump down to the second one, and there's going to be some rats in there. And these rats can kill us in just a couple of hits. It's going to seem confusing, it's going to take a few tries. I've done this over and over and over again. But we're going to jump across a ledge. You're going to see me run towards a ledge and then jump over towards a big rat. And then we're going to drop down a hole, grab the talisman, and then just let the rats come down and kill us. And then we'll spawn back at that grace. So, like I said, watch this a few times. Try and follow my pathing, and then it's going to take you a few times to practice it. But you have to get this talisman. It is vital starting out. So, here we go. There's the guard spawning in. Just ignore him. Drop on down in here. We're going to run over here. There's a rat. We're going to jump up over here. And ignore the big rat. Okay. And jump down in here. Grab the talisman. We got it. Now let the big rat come down and just take us out. Look at that. Look at how much damage that did. So this area that we're in is... Yeah, you're not supposed to be in this area until you're about around level 100, maybe 120. But we got the Radagon Sword Seal. That's all that matters. Or is it Scar Seal? One of the two. And that is a talisman that we will be using for quite a while. So, as you can see, it raises your vigor, endurance, strength, and dexterity all by 5 levels, which is just absolutely insane. It increases your damage by 10%, but that makes up for it in the vigor that we have. So just look at that. We almost get a little bit over 161 vigor, or 161 HP just from putting this on. Let's go ahead and slam that bad boy on. We're going to have it on for quite a while. Now what we need to do is we need to get some blood loss. So switch my weapons over to this, which has the blood loss on it. And I'm going to be dual wielding, doing some magic damage. And we're going to go up and we're just going to chop this poor dragon down. It's going to take a minute, literally like maybe 4 or 5 minutes. But we will be pulling off bleeds. And then as soon as he's about to die, we're going to eat this gold pickled fowl foot. because it's going to increase the runes that we're going to get from taking this dragon out. So go ahead and just start giving him the what for. You see his health bar there on the left? He has got a bunch of health, but if you put it on a light weapon like the swords I have, I'm building up his bleed bar, and we'll see the bleed pull off in a sec. Let my stamina come back up. Like I said, don't worry about those footprints you hear. They're not going to come over this wall. Oh, okay, see I did 13,000 damage there? That was a bleed. So we just got to keep doing that. We got to bleed her about 4 or 5 times. Now, the lore behind this dragon is that it can no longer fly. It is so old that it has been glued to the ground, and it screams out in pain. And yeah, it's just a super sad state of affairs. So we are doing it a kind mercy by taking it down. And so with each hit, I'm building up a little bit of bleed. So even though it has a lot of health and we don't have that strong of weapons to take it down completely, the bleed will come in and it'll take out chunks. Big chunks. And with those big chunks like that right there, it just takes a few minutes just swinging at it to take it down, and then we are going to get a massive rune dump and level up some stuff. Let my stamina go back up. I also recommend putting the Bloody Slash on the Twin Blade if you got the dexterity, because that Twin Blade will, build up the blood loss super fast. Super duper fast. Should say that with each consecutive status effect that you pull off, no matter what it is, the preceding status effects will take longer to build up. So after I pulled off this first bleed, it's going to take more hits to get a next bleed off. So it always increases after every single status effect that you pull off. It'll take longer and more hits to pull off the next one, no matter what status element you're trying to do. With proccing status ailments, the key is as many hits as possible, because every single hit, no matter what kind of hit it is, will do the exact same. When it says you build up 60 points of bleed, that's all you're going to build up no matter what kind of hit it is. So it doesn't matter if it's a charged attack or if it's a light attack. Each attack will build up the same amount. So with that being the case, it's better to do light, fast attacks to build up status effects and not charged heavy attacks. Charged heavy attacks are only good for building up stagger, so that you can stagger and do a repost. But you cannot stagger this dragon, so don't even try. So after one more bleed, we'll go ahead and pop our gold pickled foulfoot, and then we'll finish off the dragon and get a nice big rune dump. And the pickled foulfoot lasts for, I think, about 5 minutes, so you have plenty of time to keep hacking at the dragon. So after we do the next bleed, we'll go ahead and do some more hits, and then we'll eat the foulfoot. And by the time that we take the dragon down, we'll still have the buff active. So I'll go ahead and do some more hits, and then I'll eat the foulfoot. I'll do this 3 more times. I better eat the foulfoot now. Alright, so we eat the foulfoot and just start hacking. And that little gold foulfoot symbol up above, right under our endurance bar, means that the gold pickled foulfoot is still active. As soon as that goes away, then it's no longer there. But we will bleed the dragon and take it down before it goes away. See? And it's down. Rest in peace. And we get 5 dragon hearts for that, which I'll explain what they do in another episode, and 96,000 runes. That is our first rune dump of the game. Big rune dump, I should say. Let's go ahead and level up. Oh, didn't realize we forgot to do that, so let's go ahead and add a charge, and we're going to give ourselves an extra. We're going to do 6 and 2, give ourselves an extra Cerulean Flask. Let's go ahead and do our level ups. So, like I said, I wanted to get my strength and dexterity up to 20 so I can start focusing on bringing my faith and my mind and endurance up. So, I think this will only give us about maybe 8, 9, 7 level up, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump 3 into dexterity, 1 into strength. I'll do 2 into strength. I think I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good. Let's see, we got about 2 more level ups, so let's go ahead and do 2 more to dexterity. And that is what I'm going to do with this first rune dump. Bring us up to level 43, and we are good to go to start taking out caves and bosses and stuff like that. Now I can use the Bloodhound's Fang, but I could use it before just by putting on that talisman that ups everything by 5 levels. So this is just the levels that we're at now. When I get done, when I get out of this, because we have on that talisman, this is going to be up by 5 levels, and so is this, this, and this. So, if you already have your strength or your attack attributes near level 20, I recommend that you start giving more levels into mind and vigor and your endurance, because you want to get these up gradually as you're going through the game. You don't want to leave these at the bottom just because you want to have strong attack power. You want to constantly be bringing these up along with your attack attributes. So, it's good starting place. We got 1,000 runes left. Go ahead and take on off, and like I said, we don't need the dragon hearts yet because we're not getting any incantations for it, so I'll explain to you when we actually do use it so I don't overwhelm you with information. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to ride past a bunch of spooky dragons to go get this map fragment right up here. The dragon's pretty slow. They won't chase you. They, like I said, they did like that guy on the bridge did. He might swing at me and, you know, hit me, but they're usually too slow to actually chase after you. And so notice the 5 dragons that were surrounding the big dragon actually disappeared after we took out the big dragon. So go ahead and come on down here through these woods, which are infested with dragons. You can see there's one right there with the tail, so go ahead and ride along on the side just so we don't aggro them. Some dragons drop dragon hearts, some don't. I will try and clarify which ones do, which ones don't. Down there is where the ball appears that will crush us, and there's another dragon down there too. So we're going to stay away from there for now. This whole entire area, we're not going to come back to it till a little bit, like, past halfway through the game. So like I said, these dragons are so slow that we can literally come in here and grab these items. And they literally will just take too long to try and attack or aggro. And then we'll come on up here and grab the map fragment. And a Site of Grace. Then we're going to go back down to this tower over here, and we're going to grab a few very important items and a Site of Grace up this tower that we're going to come back to much later. Get rid of my other weapons back on real quick. Ooh, now I get to show you guys this Bloodhound Fang, so it's going to be fun. Vicious weapon. So, in case you haven't tried it already, this is the Bloodhound's Fang. This is the weapon art for it. Those two slices are just a powerhouse. So one slice, and then the Bloodhound Step, and that Bloodhound Step has some serious iframes. You won't take any damage while you're in the middle of it. That right there. You will take no damage while you're in the middle of that. And this has blood loss, and you can coat it, which you normally can't coat special weapons that have a skill built into it. So the fact that you can coat this weapon is just absolutely awesome, and it's going to help us get through some really tough parts in the game. So let's go ahead and hop back up on Torrent. I'm going to use this sword for a little bit, just for fun. And I'll go over here, and there is a smithing stone inside of a scarab, but it also is an exploding scarab, so you got to be careful. Because if this one hits you, it probably will take you down. If not, do some just disturbing damage. So go ahead and get some bone darts out so we can knock it off of the branch that it's on. Dang it. So we can go ahead and chase it to the cliff and maybe knock it off. If not, I'm just going to keep on giving it some Bloodhound finesse. Hopefully that'll knock it off. There we go. Did that do it? Oh, what? Come on. There we go. And we got Smithing Stone, Somber Smithing Stone 8. So like I said, the Somber side of the Smithing Stones, you only need to go up to level 10. And so, it's this sword that I'm holding is upgraded with Somber Smithing Stones. So the fact that we have number 8 means that we could literally get this close to number 10 pretty early in the game, which means it'll just do some disturbing damage for being early in the game. And another stone down here will get us even closer, because down here is Smithing Stone Somber 9. Absolutely crazy to get these 2 stones this early in the game. Some Arteria Leaves. That Rune Arc is very valuable. I'll explain what those do when we actually use them. And some Dragon Grease. The Dragon Grease is grease that we can put on our swords or weapons that will do extra damage to dragons. And that's all there is down there, and now we're going to actually climb up into that tower. Gotta run past these dragons, though. I believe there's an item right here. Go ahead and grab that while he's distracted. I don't know what he's doing. I'm going to run back up here. We're going to jump off onto this tree branch and onto the ledge of this tower. We're just going to go ahead and grab the grace in this tower for now, because everything on this tower will demolish us. So jump onto here, and then jump up over onto there. And this guy's going to get aggro. He's going to be, hey, what you doing? Just go ahead and come over and hit him. He's strong. See how strong he is? Even for a dude this just a little soldier. These guys are really strong in this area, so You really got to let them have it. Then you see ladders, you see other guards and stuff. There is nothing else on this tower. Absolutely nothing. It's all a trick to get you to explore and fall down or get attacked by guards that are hiding around corners. So I'm just going to show you the straight path that we need to go to get to the Grace in this tower. And then we're going to come back much, much later. I'm just doing this now so we don't got to deal with it later. It's a pain in the butt. So climb up this very first ladder after you take out that guard. And then we're going to very gingerly run and jump over this hole. Oh my goodness. Then jump over this one. And then very carefully come back down over here to take this guard out. Oh, okay, good. Took him down. Now here, there's a couple of holes, so it makes it a little bit trickier. So it's a lot easier if we get up on Torrent. And we got to hop over to that ledge over there. So wish me luck. And hop over that hole onto there. And safe distance in, hop off Torrent. Edge your way over very carefully to this ladder and climb on up. And that is the shack that we're going to end the episode at. But first, we're just going to grab this Grace. There is a dungeon going down back into the tunnel and a boss at the bottom of it. And then there is something important up at the top that we will do after we beat a certain boss. So right now we're just grabbing the Grace in here so that we can teleport here later and not have to deal with that hassle. Oh, found the map fragment. Alrighty. Let's take these down. We're going to go back to this Grace and we're going to run up to this shack right here, and that will be the end of it. Okie dokie. So there are some dogs running up this hill that we're going to have to be very gingerly with and sneak around. We don't want them to chase us. If they chase us, we'll not have a good time. Let's go ahead and come up on the side of the cliff. There's a dog right there. So run around through here. There's a dog right there. So stay on the side until we get to the shack. Now this is a shack that you have to be careful at because another boss can spawn here at night. So if you come here at night, be very careful. If you don't see this merchant, stay away because a boss will spawn and he will destroy you. Very, very, very viciously. I'll come over here and talk to this guy.
Well, there's been an age since I've seen a customer. How can I help here at the end of the earth?
So he's got some pretty important stuff, this ritual pot. He's got poison arrows, which we're going to need plenty of to take out a boss later on. I will purchase these at a later time and read the information in it so you do not have to. But for now, with 2,000 runes left and we already went through our level ups, the thing we're going to buy is we're going to buy this Beast Repellent Torch. Very important torch. There's only a few torches in the game that I'm actually going to recommend that we buy and use. This is one of them. This will keep the dogs away from us. Not all of them, but some of the dogs will keep a distance when we have this torch out. I'll try and showcase that right now. And then the rest of the runes, I'm going to start buying these very expensive poison arrows because they are awesome. And we need as many as we can. So we're going to periodically, when we have just a couple hundred runes left, come over here and dump them into this guy's poison arrow supply.
Have a safe journey.
I shall. I think there might be an arteria leaf. Or there's an... Yeah, there's an arteria leaf over here, and I think a Arteria Scarab over here. So let's go ahead and sneak up on him and give him a couple of swipes with our Bloodhound's Fang. Oop, didn't mean to crawl around this way. Let's get behind him and boom! Staggered him. Let's see, because this is an area that is late game and supposed to be really leveled up, even the tier scarabs are really strong, so get back here, man. Got him. Alright, Sky Shot. It's an Ash of War for the bow and arrows. And so we've picked up everything and we've done everything that we need to do. We do have one more rune drop. I could have sworn I bought a golden Foulfoot from somebody, but I'm going to have to find out which merchant has it so we can buy it. And then we're going to cheese the Knight Rider and get his runes in the next episode. So unfortunately, we do have just one more thing to do in Caelid. and I'm going to show you guys the field in which we are going to collect runes in. And then after that, right after that, so it might take like 20 minutes in the next episode, and then after that, we're going to go right to High Road Cave, and we are going to work our way down, fighting every boss and clearing out every single cave, all the way down into the Weeping Peninsula, until we get to our first sort of legacy dungeon. This is like a warm-up legacy dungeon for Castle Stormveil. Once we get here, and we've cleared out a bunch of bosses and stuff like that, we are going to stop and we're going to venture into the next land area to grab some more goodies and supplies, and we're going to fight a boss right here for runes. We're going to level up, and then we're going to go to Stormveil Castle. My apologies. What we're going to do is we're going to do all that. We're going to get down to here, and then before we go into Castle Morn, we're actually going to go up here and fight the boss at the gate of Castle Stormveil. But we're not going to go into Castle Stormveil. We're just going to fight the boss. And then after we fight the boss, we'll actually go behind Castle Stormveil into the next land area to do some more exploring like we did with Southern Caelid, grab more stuff, more supplies, and get some more runes for some early level ups. So we are making progress, you guys. I apologize that a lot of this seems like it's just kind of wasting time and going through the game and not getting anything done, but I promise we are. This will all come together, and a couple episodes from now, we will have a good bulk of things completely cleared out, and we are going to be ready to move on to other parts of the game. So, go ahead and call it here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me guide you through the lands between. It means a lot to me, so be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and until the next episode, I love you guys.